Okay, and let me notify people that I am streaming. That would be very useful to them. And we can start the timer. A1 live? I don't see people yet. Let's give them a second. Okay, I guess we just start and people will jump in on the way. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to talk about planning. Whatever game you're going to make, whatever. Oh yeah, so I see there are people live. So, like I said, planning. First of all, you need to make a small concept of the game as a whole. What you want to do, what is your inspiration, um, what are you aiming at, and then before you start making your iteration into the perfect game that you always wanted to make, you need to make some. You need to make some, prototype of some base game loop concepts. So, if my game, in my case, is a side-scroller game that is similar to Golden Axe, which means that you're going from left to right, killing enemies, hitting them with sword spells and abilities. Then you need to make this combat loop as interesting as you can, and until you finish making your combat loop, do not start polishing stuff. So don't put super polished characters, don't try to make cutscenes until you have gaming loop that is compelling and interesting. So this is a small concept of a small project that I was making with one of my friends over Discord, who will probably jump into this project with me and help me out with some aspects of visuals that I am not very good with. So it's a side-scroller project. I think if you've seen my videos on my channel, when I first created my AGR combat component, I made this very small example project of a side-scroller where you could just run with the sword and do some combo attacks. So I would like to build in on top of that and do sort of a cooperative game that would be a bit similar in playtest to Soul Calibur, because that's one of the games I absolutely adore. And I also feel very nostalgic about games like Golden Axe, all those side scrollers that were 2.5D. I absolutely love them. And I see people are having fun on the chat already. Okay. So I don't have yet concepts like what's the story, what are levels about, what are bosses about, and I'm not going to spend time in level design. I will just make it a block out. But what I will focus today is just the core gameplay loop and steering of the character himself. So what I'm going to do, normally what you would do, you would download through repository my project, but instead of doing that, I'm just going to clone it because I have some extra, already some extra features that you do not have from Marketplace. So I got like those animation packs and you know, stuff like that, and I will start removing those features as we go and clean up the project to have a nice starting point. And I will also remove all GitHub, all Git related files, because I will make this a repository later on. So first of all, let's just clone the project. Let's name the new project side scroller. We can change the name later, it won't really matter or break. And by doing a clone of this project or starting a new project from the AGR, I am already inheriting a lot of stuff like trace channels and you know, physical surfaces, stuff that I would anyway set up in the same way for every project I ever made. So this will be, yeah, that's not really a problem to rename it. So let's copy it. And by the way, yeah, I can see live everything that you are typing. I think that your vision of the stream ends around here, right? So I got an ultra wide monitor, so I'm streaming in 16:9, just this window. And I am using these tools that I showed you on the chat, which is called Power Toys by Microsoft, and it allows you to make those zones of the screen that you can just drag an application. Well, not this one, obviously. You can drag an application, and you can just hit shift and then let it go, and it will snap to just this area of the screen, which is really amazing. So let's go back to this. And where is my project? Come on. Still cloning? Probably. Yeah, it's still not done. So it's still getting a copy. So maybe let's go through those design notes while we are here. So I will just drop it here and make it smaller. So to go through all the design, the core concept of this project is to make a game that is, first of all, simple. So I don't want to do some leveling system. I want every character to be balanced, so they don't have too much of stats. I was thinking about possibility of leveling up characters in a linear way for all the characters, but definitely not for now. Yeah, like I said, linear progression. No inventory. The only thing that you might be changing is the weapon itself, but I think that for now it will be only cosmetic change. No armor swapping, maybe cosmetic look of the general character that you could be swapping. So you would swap armors, but they wouldn't affect your statistics in any way. Make the game semi-randomized, so I will be using for sure Dungeon Architect. It's an absolutely amazing tool, and I think yesterday the author of this tool showcased a snap builder for side-scroller project, and he's using exactly what I was thinking to use in my project. So that's great. He proved that my concept of using Dungeon Architect for side-scroller is very viable. And yeah, I want to make just a few playable classes. For now I will focus on just one, obviously, and make each of those playable classes just use one or maybe two weapons to swap between them, but for now we'll just use one weapon, and we'll start with the warrior and we'll just give him two-handed weapon. Weapons will have two types of attacks, but I'm thinking about maybe adding more than that, maybe a kick and probably a jump. You can also consume a potion, and all characters have potions that are on cooldown, and they are unlimited number of potions, or maybe I will limit them. We'll see what we'll do about that. And as you fight, you get some ultimate passive ability that can be activated once you fill up the ultimate Gauk, and that's pretty much it. So you just have one ultimate move per character, and you have one move that is from item in hand, so from your weapons moves, and just 2 attacks, and that's it, and a potion, that's it. So enemies will use the same combo system. They have to be able to receive multiple debuffs like stun, stagger, and stuff like that. And they, I would have to also implement a system that would allow you to break through guards. Like in Soul Calibur, you had those heavy attacks that had a chance to push you off guard, and there were those super heavy attacks that were always breaking guard and dealing full damage. Okay, I was thinking about making blocking or not making blocking. I haven't made a full decision yet, but for the MVP there will be no blocking. So what you have to do is just time your light attacks in such a way that you can counter heavy attacks. And enemies, they must use abilities that are inaccessible to the player. So they are less predictable, and they can occasionally heal themselves as well, especially bosses, which is very important. And we will work on a difficulty adjustment that would work if we play in multiplayer, because for now we'll be doing just single player, but as designed, this game is designed for multiplayer, and also not split screen but a shared screen on a single computer as well as over the internet. So this will be a difficult task to do as well. And oh come on, it should be done by now. Yeah, and the main inspiration would be Golden Axe. And by the way, on YouTube you can find videos, and I think the owners, like the company behind Golden Axe, actually, I think it was Konami, they published the unfinished Golden Axe, so it's written like this, and that was a remake of Golden Axe, but it wasn't finished, and it was a very controversial project, as they completely screwed over the developers. They didn't pay them everything, and they didn't really have rights to the entire project, like intellectual rights, but they published it anyway, and they talked shit about the project. So that was yeah, that was really rough. By the way, funny, like I don't see how many people are really watching it live. Like it tells me that 0 people is watching right now, but I can see people on the chat, so that's interesting. Okay, so I got copy of the project. So first of all, like I said, we're going to open this project and we're going to do a lot of cleaning up. So I will delete everything that I am not using, even a bit in advance. Even if I have to remake something, I will delete it anyway. So let's open up and let's wait for that. Good, this PC is quite fast. And Epic's launcher crashed as usual. Typical. Yeah, hi. Yeah, so I see people actually watching live. Awesome. So yeah, I don't know how long this this one stream will take. Probably a few hours even. And I'm also using this application. Let me show you. It's called Clockify, and just a website, and you can link it into Teams and other things, and you can track how much time you are spending in what kind of project, and you can track multiple projects by multiple developers, by multiple people, and you know, stuff like that. So whenever I'm doing commission work, or I'm doing any work, even for myself, like editing videos and doing anything, I'm tracking my time, and I am pausing when I'm going to bathroom or something. And can I pin this one? Come on. Oh, I'm gonna have to do it by hand. So, wait, maybe I can do it like this, and now. Okay. And have 14 FPS. I don't really get it. What is happening? Okay. So I'm getting just 10 FPS here for some reason. I see terrible flickering of the screen. I think this might be G-Sync, you know. Let me go into this. Come on, NVIDIA. Ah! White screen of death. So don't enable G-Sync. And yeah, don't. Yes, apply those changes. And hopefully my stream didn't break right now. Okay. What's happening? Okay. So native 144. Okay, that's fine. Just leave it at this. So maybe now it will start working better. Okay, something is definitely wrong. Let's see, performance and GPU. Okay, that's interesting. Let's open a different map, like this one. Why is this acting so strange? Streaming poolside. First of all, let's set it to like 4,000 at least. Because I don't know why he's using just 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. Oh my god, is it after the update of the engine? Like I just updated to 4.26.1 and this is happening. Let's go into project settings and let's check HDRI. Maybe I'm wait. Come on, spin here and let's go into, where is it? Rendering. Oh, okay, this is mobile, I don't care. Calling, this is fine. Virtual texturing, reflections. Okay. Temporal IA, yeah, that's fine. This is fine. What's happening? let's go with DirectX 11 because I don't know what he's done, and let's restart it. I think he started in DirectX 12. Let's see. I hope it's a survival. Well, I was thinking about making this Resident Evil-like game that would be a third-person survival shooter as a first project, but it's a bit bigger in scope. It's a bit more ambitious than the one I'm doing right now. The one I'm doing right now could have a really playable and polished demo in a fairly very short time. Okay, yeah, now, yeah, it was DirectX 12, so DirectX 11, bam, 60 FPS immediately. So now I can work. Right, let's just push it here, and now let's just expand it until here. Okay, fine. Yeah, and that's a lot fluent and better. So I'm not doing this survival game yet. I'm doing this as a proof of concept, and I will just polish it a bit, spend like 2-3 weeks on this project and do a pitch for it, and then I can start slowly working on this survival game, because to make this survival game I need a lot of resources that I do not own right now. So I would have to make you know what, I have very slow internet, so maybe because I'm streaming in 1440p, which would take more than my internet can push probably. So I don't know, I'm way below capacity. Strange. I can check the quality if something is maybe wrong. Yeah, this is fine. Output and video. No, that should be fine. I don't know what's the problem. Okay, so I showed the scope. I will actually share this concept scope on Discord, so you can later read on it and comment as you like, and I'm actually looking forward to your input. But today I don't know if I'll be doing a lot of actual gameplay. I'll be doing a lot of preparations, like something that I always have to do when I'm starting a new project. So okay, let's make a new folder, call it whatever our project is, and set a distinguish color. I'm usually using this that I hate, so I am forced to change later on. I'm using red for anything that is character related. I'm using certain colors for certain type of objects, but this is just my personal preference, and I'm not forcing anyone else to use my colors. So yeah, we're doing this, and now we will make some folders here that are relevant to our project directly. So we'll need a folder called maps, and it's a color white. And inside maps we'll need a map, so we'll just get one of those maps from our examples, and well, we already have an example, and that example is side scroll example map. So we'll copy it here, and we'll see how broken this example is, because I haven't looked into it in a very long time, so probably not everything will be working as intended in this map. So let's go here. Oh, and I need to do one more very important thing. I need to absolutely immediately disable Git in this project. So like the project is not connected to Git on project level, so all I have to do in this side scroll, just show it in folder, and now I just have to get those Git related stuff, and that's actually it, and just delete it. Okay, and now this is a project that is completely local, at least for now. We'll reopen it. And once I finish setting all the folders, setting all the assets, fixing all the reference and stuff like that, only then I will start a repository out of this project. Yeah, you're welcome, no problem. Like I really wanted to do this series for a very long time, like make an actual game from A to Z, like even from the concepts, and I will also show you how to do Scrum planning. But at this level, there's no planning to be done because I just need to make some groundwork. But we will also do together planning, and we'll go through reporting bugs into our own project. So even if you're working in just one person on a project, it is very important to keep certain workflow because those workflows, those patterns of working really works. And from my personal experience, and I've been project manager for over 10 years, Scrum and Agile are one of the best. One of the ones that are very effective, but in a larger scale projects, would be Prince 2. But for example, I absolutely hate Cascade. I hate Waterfall. I worked in Waterfall projects sometimes for 2-3 years that didn't really make any sense. But for example, when we started implementing Scrum in small teams of developers, like 8-10 people, our productivity sometimes increased by 400%. Literally, like it sounds ridiculous, but it actually did. Okay, so what the hell do we have here? Let's see if it even works. Okay, we got this guy. He's turning and he can walk. Oh, okay, that's a lot of groundwork done, honestly. And he can jump and he can move while jumping. Everything is fine. And this camera can be changed in direction. Okay, that's cool as well. That could be useful. Okay. Okay, so we got this map. This is the copy of the map, so it is no longer running on our examples. And now, once we have this map, we need to make a new folder. We call it gameplay. And gameplay basically contains gameplay elements like game modes and stuff like that. But different people put different objects into gameplay and different objects into blueprints folder. I like to keep them completely separated, and I keep in gameplay like controllers, pawns, characters, top level stuff only, like the toppest level. And oh yeah, Agile is also great. Yeah, like Waterfall by design requires you to know what your project will be and what works in it and what doesn't. For example, 2 years in advance. That's ridiculous. And it also requires you to be able to tell how long will it take to fill every single task. And then you have those waterfall tasks that are not completed, but there are dependencies and there are blockers, and it's just ridiculous. Okay, so let's make game mode base. And now I'm not making game mode, but game mode base, because from what I've learned, all the functionalities of game mode above game mode base is just functionalities that Epic Games used in Unreal Tournament. So it has this really cool session flow that you can have this pre-map time when people connect, and there is a warm-up, and then the match starts, and then there is the screen with voting for the next map and everything. But I don't need all that. I just need to have this BP side scroller functional test game mode. Okay, that's a very long name. I don't think that's reasonable. Let's make it SS test game mode. Okay, that's a lot better. And let's make a pound. And actually, let's not. Let's go into our examples, gameplay, and find this side scroller. Wait, I have it here, so find it. This is 2.5D. Okay, and side scroller PC. Oh, what's inside that one, I wonder? Let's take a look. But I'm pretty sure that whatever I put in here, I already implemented into AGR player controller, so we're gonna check that. But this is for sure a copy. So yeah, we're going to do this here, and our default pound will be this, and this guy goes into a dumpster. And yeah, this is SCAD player controller goes as AGR player controller, and I'm pretty sure that this should be fine. Let's see what side scroller does. So interface, get what? Get mouse position info. Okay, so I was just getting mouse position info from this side scroller PC, and that's it, I guess. And even graph. And I have absolutely nothing in it. Okay, so this is trash. I'm not using it. I don't need it for anything. And let's rename this. It will be BP character template, because this will be a template for all characters, but this will be a template for all characters that are player characters, but maybe also not. Yeah, anyway, we need to go here, and we will need, oh, this is blue, obviously, and we need a new folder, and we'll call it blueprints. And immediately we know that there will be a blueprint class, which will be an actor component, and it will be called BPSS character stats. And this one will contain our life, it will contain anything like our inventory, everything that is shared between characters that are controlled by player and enemies and bosses, and all the behavior, everything that we don't have already coded into AGR components. So this is definitely something we'll need. We can open it and we'll do stuff with it in a second. But let's go here and let's rip out and destroy everything that we are not using. Okay. Okay, so this is using example interface. First of all, I don't want to use example interface. So I'm sorry about that. Example interface, no. Yes, destroy it. And add AGR interface. Yes. Okay, so this, no. Neutral pose, mouse aim. I'm gonna see what this does in a second. Q and E, so this is spring arm relative rotation. I don't need that as well. Mouse aim toggle 1. So what the hell does this do? Mouse aim toggle. So it basically does this. So I can take it here and just do this on 1, and I can see what it does. So if I play, and now I press 1, okay, it's broken. Okay, never mind. And that's because on begin play I was it's still here. I was, oh no, yeah, I was doing this. So let's do this and let's test it now. So yeah, there's this guy, press 1, and he should be aiming at the mouse, but he's not, because probably, yeah, probably has to play. Oh my god, that's terrible. Okay, and now at tick, set aim based camera. So if it's true, then get mouse position, no. Get mouse target as an AGR controller. And this I can actually use, and use visibility, complex, and obviously if it hits anything, then do this. That should start working suddenly. Let's see. 1. Okay, so now he's aiming at the mouse. Okay, that was easy. So from what I've just learned, I have to fix this template in the AGR repository, which I will do later on, because yeah, it's not even using the proper interface yet as it should. Okay, but at least I know what this character was doing and why. So let's go back into event graph. We're not doing this. We're not doing aim based on camera. We might be doing something on tick, so we'll store this here. Mouse aim toggle, we're not doing any of those. Begin play, neutral pose, this is not how we will do it. So what we do here, we take our animation, we're saying same aim offset is aim at, so definitely not, we're ignoring aim offset. Aim offset speed is unrelevant if we are ignoring. Aim offset clamp is unrelevant. Camera based aim unrelevant and unrelevant. So we're ignoring. You know what? Let's do it differently. Let's just delete all of that. Why do I even bother explaining something that I will not use? On landed play network montage, and this is. Yeah, we will be using this, but in a different way. And do we have? Yeah, we do have a second one. So should we get word rotation? Yeah, that's fine. And okay, so this is a modified standard third-person character movement inputs, and the modification is that it's not taking the controller view, it's taking the word view. So if we do the same thing that we did in my previous video, and by the way, I have a premiere going in 15 minutes, but I will unfortunately not attend it because of the stream, unless we will stop the stream, go to the premiere, watch the premiere. And by the way, this is a very important episode, so maybe we'll do that in 15 minutes. Let me set a clock for that, because I will talk about camera rotations, which is super important. Okay, BP's enough. Yeah, like items, weapons, yeah, doing this. There's a guideline on naming convention for Unreal and how to name folders and how to structure folders. And if you are not following this naming convention and this naming guidance of folders, if you send whatever you make onto marketplace, they will not accept it if you are not following this naming convention and folders. Like anything that is related to your specific pack and specific set of functionalities should be inside one folder. There's the master, and then inside it should have like those blueprints, gameplay maps, and so on and so on and so on. Have I thought about the Patreon? Yeah, I actually have a Patreon. It's not in the description of this stream, but you can find a direct link. Oh, I have to update the descriptions. You can find the direct link on our Discord, and you can find the link to the Discord on my YouTube channel. And you know what? I can actually just paste an invite to our Discord. That will be a lot easier. So let me do that right now. So it's invite people and always valid, generate, okay. So now okay, so this is our Discord. On the Discord you can find my Patreon, and you can also talk with other people. We got like a lot of devs with years of experience that are helping other people, and it's a very nice community. I am extremely happy with people out there. And yeah, I'm also doing a lot of stuff only for Patreon. So for example, the newest videos that I am posting right now until Friday, it's a 5 episodes tutorial series I made it also a single long episode just for Patreons. And you can get consulting hours from me and general help if you want to support me and my channel. So let's do this and okay, so let's go back to the character. So this is fine. Oh, and by the way, we're adding those arrows. So let me explain. This will be the arrow for our character rotation, and just make it like 1, and maybe this will be 5. Yeah, a wider one. And let's make another arrow, and this arrow will be the control rotation. So this one will be, for example, blue, and will be longer and thinner, and that it's also not hidden in game. And a third arrow, oh wait, but it's on the capsule, and well, third arrow is irrelevant because this will be the camera rotation. So we know the camera rotation, it's oriented toward certain word space and nothing else. So if we go into event graph, we go into tick. Now we can just take this arrow, and this one is the red one. Yeah, this is the red one. So we don't touch the red one, we're taking the second arrow. We're just taking this arrow, and red one is actor rotation, and this one is control rotation. So we're taking control, whatever, and set rotation. Set relative rotation, and relative rotation is get control rotation. And because we are in a pound, we can get control rotation directly and just input it here. And as long as we are playing locally, this will work. So set control rotation. So we can go here and just hit play, and you will see that our control rotation is the opposite of our actor rotation right now, but we are ignoring it because we're using aim offset at the camera. And if I go into here and go into animation master, and I go here, and I will find okay, turn on modification. Where's the aim offset tag? Okay, so if I do aim offset tag, I will go into animations, aim offset, and I will say look at, and then I will find camera based aim, say true, right? And now I play, he will be doing the same. So he'll be always facing where my camera is aiming. But if I go back here now and I untick this camera based aim, he will now not do anything as he should. Okay, never mind. Let's just set it up. So let's do setup, aim offset, do setup, base pose, setup, first person, setup overlay, and setup turn rotation, setup IK, and the last one is setup pelvis bone name. So I don't have to set that this one because it's just pelvis. IK scale by default is 1 and 1. I'm not doing anything with that, so I can delete that. I'm not touching first person mode, so I can delete that. So I'm using just those 4. So those are the poses, master and secondary pose, so the overlay and base, and those are the main setup things. So let's just make a custom event, and this custom event will be called init animation component, and init animation component is just doing this, because we'll be running the same animation type over and over. And what we need is this aim offset tag will be ignore, and doesn't matter, M clamp will be M clamp nearest, because it can be empty, that's it. So it has to be something. So we're ignoring M offset completely. Now rotation type, we want the character to strafe walk, but we want him to turn at our desired rotation. So what we'll do, we'll make character desired rotation, okay, and rotation speed will be 360. So he's doing a 180 spin in half a second, which is I think fast enough, but we might adjust it later on. Turn start angle, it's only valid if we set it to the Z rotation at angle. So there is a threshold that if you go beyond this threshold of aim offset, then you start turning. So this is usually 90 and tolerance is 1, but it doesn't really matter for this pose. And base pose will be, we already have one, and it will be Kubot longsword. That's it. And overlay pose will be none. So we have base tags and we have modification, we have overlay none. Okay, so this is init animation component, and we just want to do it on begin play. And it doesn't matter if we are dedicated server or not, this has to just trigger, and that's it. So once we've done that, and we go into interface, HDR character, we need to fill in those. So active camera is this camera always, and aim from component is aim from this component, and use socket is spine 03, or head, or your hand R, or it depends on you. So this is like 3 events that are being used by the components, and you don't have to worry about how they are being used. This is the only one that you would set up maybe differently depending on type of your game. So this is a setup for first-person shooters for very precise aiming, like spine 03 or head. But for third person, I would just say hand R or IK hand root. Yeah, that's exactly how you find this naming convention. It's super useful, but it's hard to find really. Like I tried to Google it recently and post it to someone, and it was odd. I couldn't find it for some reason. Okay, so I've done those events as well, and I don't need anything else from those, and I don't need this. And now actually what I need to do is go into gameplay, and this character should be, oh, it is here. Okay, fine. Okay, so now he's facing this blue arrow, always trying to face this blue arrow. Oh, and by the way, if you have this terrible motion blur, like you can see on the arrows, this is just blurry as hell. What you need to do, you need to go into post process, and then you have here motion blur somewhere. There is definitely motion blur. Yeah, motion blur. You can see this, and you just make everything default except this one, and make FPS target 0, which means that it will try to fit your FPS live. And now motion blur is not half as terrible. Or you can make motion blur try to fit a specific target. So for example 120, this is the limit. So if you go into 120, it will be a lot faster and a lot more, it will just react a lot faster. But I would set it to 0, so it's actually matching your live FPS as you go. So for me it's like, I don't know, 70, 80 right now. Okay, let's save everything. So this guy, event graph, okay, so this is fine, this is definitely fine. I don't need this for now. Let's go into inputs. Okay, so this is fine. We need to change this guy control rotation on inputs. So Let me think how to do that in the best way. We could simply get last input vector from movement, or I don't remember which one is the pending input vector. I don't remember which one is the proper one honestly. So just make a print text, because one of them is already like consumed on tick, and the second one is just pending for consumption on the next tick. Let's do format text, and let's print out pending 0 and last 1. Okay, and format text now gives us those two things that we can't connect to anything unless we do toString. And now string is a wildcard that can be formatted as text. So we convert to string, or can we format to text? Yeah, we can do it directly to text. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so we're formatting vectors to text, and we can read them at tick, and we want this to show for 0 seconds, so basically for 1 frame. And which one of those vectors is not 0? It's the second one. Okay, so this one. Okay, so this is okay. Okay, so we need y. Okay, we need y of this vector. So pending, not the last. The last is always consumed, so it's always 0. Okay, so at least we know this, and we can split this and use y, and we can set control rotation. No, control, or we should be able to set control rotation. Oh, okay, so let's pause this for a moment. I will stop the stream for now, and we'll go into the premiere of my latest video. Let me link that for you. And after the video is done, we can come back here and even discuss it. So let me hold you for a second, and here is the video. And we can come back here in a moment. I need to check one more thing, because how did I do it for the 2.5D here? Okay, so I was doing set control rotation. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, so join me in my other video. Thanks.